Did anybody see the state of play? The state of play is PlayStation's presentation of their games. It's like PlayStation's Nintendo Direct.
Yeah.
If you guys didn't see it, we got the gist for you right now. And
I'm in
Ash
my
is gonna,
notes.
yeah, Ash is gonna start it off because she got her notes, and she's pretty much gonna start talking about each of the titles, and I'm just gonna give my opinion. But
Yeah.
here we go.
Okay, so basically what they did was it was a 30-minute presentation, and they talked about 10 games, but it was kind of the same situation from the Nintendo Direct. I think they only presented probably 2 to 3 new games, and then a sneak peek for a very expected game. And they just basically confirmed what titles from the PS4 are jumping to the PS5 and what games that did not have a release date will have a release date. I'm going to start it in order. Crash Bandicoot is coming to PS5. It is receiving an update at 4K at 60 frames per second. And it will also give you the ability to save transfer from PS4 to PS5 with an upgrade available. This is going to be available on March 12, 2021. So I think this was expected in a way. I struggle with Crash Bandicoot. I love the character. I'm terrible at the game. I have to talk about Returnal. Returnal was,
oh my god, Returnal was insane.
One of my highlights. So we got a sneak peek at kind of what the game is about and the gameplay. I have to say that this game is visually stunning, and it presents a collection of different enemies. Every time that you die in this game, everything restarts. From the location of the enemies to the space where you're in. And I think that's something that's it's new, because usually what happens in a video game is that you die and you kind of know a certain path or pattern to follow so you can defeat that enemy. But I think Returnal is going to make it very hard for you to overcome this game. It also allows players to interpret Celine's story, who is our main character, by putting the pieces together. So in every section that you visit, you're going to get like a piece of her nightmares. The one that they showed specifically in the presentation was her house, and you have the option of going in and then discovering what might have happened or why is it tied to her nightmare. And they also confirmed a release date, which is going to be April 30th, 2021. So that is in less than 2 months. So I'm excited for that one. I think that was my highlight.
This game is pretty good, and the way that I see it, because one, of course, graphically it looks amazing. It should look amazing because next gen actually allows you to increase that oomph and that engine and that so good type of feel to play this game.
Another highlight is Knockout City. This is also coming to PlayStation, but Nintendo Direct actually had, they had their preview last week during their event. They did announce that a crossplay beta will be available on the official website, which is www.knockoutkcity.com. They announced also a new game from the company, Slow Clap, titled Sifu, which is coming out in 2021 in PS5.
That
which
looked great.
I liked it. This was your favorite too, right?
This was one of my favorites because it's more of how it looks, how it's a new innovative way to actually look at a game and how to play it. It's very cinematic as a 3D type of view and a different art that you can play a game in. It also looked like the kung fu or the fighting or the martial art that they were using. It looked very fluent and very action movie type of martial art. And when I want to see if this actually has kind of like a mode where it could be a multiplayer, I doubt. Because then you have UFC for that. But if they actually incorporate this, this would be interesting. It would be fun, in my opinion.
They also gave an update on Solar Ash, which they presented a sneak peek of the gameplay. I had seen this game on the PlayStation Store, and I actually played a trailer for John, and I was like, this looks really interesting. And I have to say that the game looks really stunning. It looks like a whole new world, something different. You have the opportunity to play as Ray, which is the main character, and the setting is a black hole with the core of the game being movement. So you have to be good at your movement so that you can pass every single stage. the enemies encountered, they grow in scale and abilities needed to defeat them. So sometimes they require certain movements, but then they also may require a certain timing that you have to do those movements so you can defeat the enemies. No date yet, but it is coming out also in 2021 for PS5.
The game, honestly, the game as a design, it looks really good. It's something innovative, because that's what I really enjoy about new games. It's something new. I need to get wowed in a sense where I'm seeing something different.
Another one was announced a new Five Nights at Freddy's titled Security Breach. It's coming out on PS5 in 2021. Kind of the same concept that we know of Five Nights at Freddy's, but of course a little bit more high quality and a better design of the characters. Next game is Oddworld Soulstorm, where you play as Abe, who is the leader of an ongoing revolution. This sneak peek that they gave, it has like a very arcade feel to it. And they also stated that you can feel the main character's heartbeat in certain occasions of stress or scares. You can choose what you want to be, so you can play as either a pacifist or agent of chaos, and it has a mix of natural obstacles or ancient traps apart from the main enemies in the game. And something that I like from this game that I admire when people do this is that your actions will decide the ending of the game.
Yes.
So if you guys are interested, that one is going to be out on April 6th on PS4 and PS5. But if you are a PlayStation Plus, right? Is it PlayStation Plus?
Member, yes. PlayStation Plus member, yeah.
If you are a member of the PlayStation Plus, you are going to get it for free. They actually presented a new trailer for Kena, Bridge of Spirits.
That is my number one.
Yeah, I'm expecting this game because ever since I saw it in the summer showcase, which was the big one, I've always felt that it has a very Zelda Breath of the Wild feel to it. I have to say that in the trailer, I love how the gameplay looks and the camera work in terms of how your character's perspective changes. It looks insane. Like there was a scene where she was fighting. She had the back, and as soon as you start running forward, you see the character and you still see your enemy, and it looked insane. They finally announced a release date, which is going to be August 24th, 2021 on PS4 and PS5. I'm excited for this game, but if it's like Immortal Phoenix Rising, which is like open world, I'm gonna be there a while.
This game has a combination of Breath of the Wild with Horizon Zero Dawn, and it looks like it's going to be the Zelda of PlayStation.
Sony?
Of Sony. Now, I don't want to compare it too much to the aspect of climbing and sense of discovery and all that, because again, we haven't played the game yet, so there's room and time for actually do comparisons like that. But just from the looks of it, it actually is one of the most wanted and innovative games that is out there to be released, as we know. That we know actually, and I just love the artwork. That's what I love the most. Like the point for me is when the fact that you're creating a video game in itself is amazing, but when you go out of your way to create something that really doesn't exist, your mind has to be going super powered and not even using too much references. They can still use references from things that exist and mold it, and they can go based off what already existed in the lore of Zelda. But again, when you go to Mordor or ancient times where we only have photo references, and even archives or movies that have already come out, things that don't exist that you can recreate, that is the most impressive thing in my opinion, when you can create that type of thing.
The next one is Deathloop. All they did was give like another in-depth look into the gameplay and the story kind of with the new trailer. I think this game might be fun, but I think it's going to be even better when you play with a bunch of people. Because the purpose of this is that you have to die and die and die again until you reach your main target that you have to kill. I think it's fine. The last big highlight was the fact that I think this was something that people were expecting from this showcase, and it is that Final Fantasy closed the showcase with the announcement of the Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is titled Integrate.
Integrate. I think
I
it's
think so.
integrate.
This basically means that it's going to transfer. There we go. This remake, which was very celebrated in 2020, to PS5, but it's going to include photo mode, 60 frames per second, and a new episode featuring the character of Yuffie. So
Yuffie and Shodo,
yeah,
or something like that. Yeah, and then they're gonna upgrade finally they're gonna upgrade the graphics and cross it to next gen, which is PS5.
Yes.
So when you get it to PS5, they actually presented the difference between playing it on PS4 and PS5, and it was living to the expectation, and actually completely changed the rendering. It changed the high definition. It changed to the 4K resolution. Everything was there, and it was great.